Pasternak just has their number.
He does.
Kind of like how Marchand still has their number.
He does.
It's like how Bergeron had their number.
He did.
A little bit like how Chara had.
Let's go!
It starts with an A and ends with anxiety. Off the charts levels of passion. That's just a nightmare.
With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR.
There is something there's something I can't let go of. On the TSN broadcast of this game, before the game even started, mind you, do you know what they had in the pregame? Do you? They had a compilation, a montage, if you will, of Leafs fans wearing Leafs jerseys at that game in Boston! There are fans who will pay actual money to see this hockey team in Boston, Massachusetts! You know how in movies, like murder mystery movies, they'll say something like, oh, you know, the killer always comes back to the scene of the crime. You know who they don't expect to show up there time after time after time? The victim! What must Bruins think? I thought you were dead! And if you do an x-ray deep down of my insides, I am. Leafs lose 5-3 to the Boston Bruins, and here I am, like so many videos this season, where I can't even tell a story. I can't tell a this, then this, then this. And if only this, but then this. I can't even do that. They're just bad the entire time.
Oh no! We suck again!
There was one fleeting moment where it felt like this game might be a little bit relevant, and then the Leafs leafed and they lost. I still get messages from people telling me to calm down. I cannot believe anyone would have the nerve to say the Leaf fans are the problem. I can't believe that. You can kick us, you can punch us, you can take our wallet, and we'll be like, oh, you know what? We would have given you the contents of the wallet, but I'm sure the wallet has value too. Just take it. Ah! You know what? Yeah. A few of them say insane things on Instagram, and you shouldn't do that. A few of them will throw jerseys onto the ice and waffles. But the building is still packed, and your checks always clear. I worked for Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment when I was an intern. I made $300 a month. I had a check bounce. I assume you have never had that problem. Because why? Because fans pour their money and passion and time that they'll never get back into this team, and what they get back from it is marginal at best. Dude, this is your redemption game. Boston ran your show in your house a couple days ago. You go to their house, they're on a winning streak that includes a win against you. You have a chance to humble them. They are the better team immediately. Anthony Stolarz is getting a lot of crap today, and I'm gonna float a theory out there. I have nothing to back this theory up. Right at the beginning of the game, the Bruins get two brilliant chances off a giveaway, and Anthony Stolarz makes two brilliant saves. After the first period, he left the game with an upper body injury. I think he hurt himself on one of those two saves. Or he's been battling something for a while. Or it doesn't matter because he didn't even finish the game. It had to be Dennis Hildeby, who is the starter going forward, unless Joseph Woll can come in and be great all of a sudden. So the Bruins have a goal. They have several shots. They have a power play. Before you even have a shot on goal, you give up another power play, and the hockey gods hand you a gift. A gift. It is a turnover. Steven Lorentz takes advantage, and this shot should never go in. Never, never, never. This is nothing against Steven Lorentz. It's Jeremy Swayman making over $8 million. Beg your pardon? That went in? And on the Leafs' first shot of the game, they tie it. The game begins anew. Maybe they can claw their way back into this one. Heck, it's tied. They're a shot away. And it's Simone Benoit with a high sticking penalty on Alex Steeves. Hi, Alex. Wanted you to be a Leaf for a long time, forever, and they played you like a handful of games. Even though you were like leading the AHL in scoring, I always thought you were good. Anyway, have fun in Boston, buddy. Have fun in Boston. If you've been watching for a long time, how many times did I mention Alex Dees? Benoit, who I'm learning is no longer attracted by an NHL job. He doesn't want one, I guess. 3 penalties for this team in less than 8 minutes. Myers, McCabe, Benoit, these are all defensemen. These are all penalty killers. Ooh, I'm dying. And right after you find a sliver of hope to get you back in the game, they score a power play goal, and it's Hampus Lindholm, who lit up the Leafs in Game 7. Which one? Google it. Lindholm drew that up. It was beautiful. Pasta drew that up. It was beautiful. And I didn't see it coming, and neither did the Leafs. It's 2024. Steves scores a goal, just a rip 5-hole on Stolarz. Not a D-man in sight. You'd love a save there. You need a save there if you are going to fancy yourself an NHL team. But as we found out, Stolarz was injured. So the Leafs are down 3-1 after 1 because they thoroughly deserved to be. Like, this was the discourse I was seeing online. From MoneyPuck.com, Leafs currently with 3.8% odds of winning the draft lottery. Note, they traded away their first-round pick for Carlo. That's to Boston. Boston has that pick, but it's protected if they pick top 5. And all I could think of was that little side character from Red Dead Redemption 2. Gavin! Has anyone seen Gavin? Excuse me, I'm looking for my friend. Gavin! Englishman. Lovely fella. Gavin McKenna might be the only thing. No! We can't be talking about Gavin McKenna! And do you want an illustration in how in peril Craig Berube's job might be? The Penguins game. Whenever anyone wants a little hope, they go to the Penguins game. When the Leafs were down 3-0, they were awful. They stormed back. They win 4-3 in regulation. They were down 2-0 after 1. Craig Berube, after the game, was still mad about how they responded to being down 2-0 at the beginning of the second. This is the same thing. Same thing. It's not 2-0. It's 3-1. It's a 2-goal deficit. Dennis Hildeby is cold. He's coming right off the bench and into the game. Has to deal with the scoring chance right away. Puck goes like a little bit away from him for a second, comes right back. It's David Pastrnak on a break, and it's 4-1, 49 seconds into the second. At the end of the day, I think what Derek Lalonde has done with this team's defensive structure, with it's so many, oh my God, we didn't know what we had with Lane Lambert. We had no idea. He has come in, and things have been awful immediately, but when was the last time you heard of an assistant coach getting fired mid-season because the team was just like, yeah, they're not very good? You have heard of it before, but it's usually they get fired along with the head coach. I earnestly think that might happen here, because this is a repeat of something that has already happened and happened recently, and it's still early enough in the season that you can grab the team by the collar and shake them alive, or at least that's the hope. And if it doesn't work, you tried. But what I know for sure is you can't keep doing this.
You can't keep getting away with it.
That was first minute of the second period. Late in the second period, the Leafs are now down Stolarz and they're down Matthews because Zadorov got after him a couple times, but they find a way to get back into it. Bobby McMahon, the only Leaf with blood in his veins, it seems, this season. He gets the Leafs to within 2, and you go to the locker room feeling somewhat okay about yourself. Let's try this, boys. Let's do this, boys. After all, this is familiar territory. The Leafs came into this game with a tie for the most comeback wins in the league with 6. They only have 8 wins. So all I take from that is they're losing all of the time! 3.5 minutes into the third period, William Nylander, team on his back. Nick Robertson continues to click. Gets it to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I cannot believe how good of a season Oliver Ekman-Larsson is having and how bad their defense is overall. This should have been, can you imagine this version of Oliver Ekman-Larsson on last year's Leafs team? Forget the division. We're talking President's Trophy at that point. Who knows? Maybe it's the smidge that they need to get by the Panthers. I don't know. No, they were never going to get by the Panthers, but you would have felt better. But now the Leafs are only down 1. And again, it's a gift. It was a sinker from OEL. You have 3 goals in this game. 2 of them should have been stopped by any starter in the NHL. And Swayman couldn't do it. Then, not long after that, Nikita Zadorov and Max Domi mix it up in front of the Bruins net. Was anything called? No, it was not. Eric Furlat was one of the refs in this game. I heard them say on the broadcast, and I was just like, that's too perfect. That's too perfect. If you need a game to get out of hand in TD Garden, you call Eric Furlat. This should have never happened, but Max Domi cannot help himself. He goes at Zadorov, drops his glove, and he takes the extra penalty. And I take umbrage with something that was said on the broadcast. Mike Johnson, who I think is generally extremely fair and really nuanced, and I love his takes on TSN. But he goes, you can't complain about players not sticking up for guys and then complain when Domi sticks up for his captain because Zadorov was the guy who injured him. It was 4-1 when that happened! So he waited like 20 minutes of actual game time and for his team to come back, score 2 goals, and claw to within 1 after being down 3 to stick up for his guy? That's not a guy sticking up for his captain. That's a stupid penalty. Every time out of every time. Because the guy doesn't pick his spots. The whole world is a spot. It's like me at the buffet. You're not picking and choosing. You're putting everything on your plate. And some people might look at that and go, that's awesome. But most smart people might say something cheeky like, all right, Steve, go ahead and weigh yourself there. Yeah, unfortunately, it is a necessary part of the exam. Why are you fighting me on this? What happens? The Bruins get a power play. David Pastrnak scores. Dennis Hildeby only allowed 2 goals in this game, and they were both David Pastrnak. One was a breakaway. One was a rip on the power play. Good luck out there, Dennis. Have fun. Assisted by Mark Kastelic and Tanner Jeannot on the power play! And you leave Boston the way you always leave Boston, with your tail tucked between your legs. Losers of the game that you came to play, that you were paid to play. Sorry. Better luck next time, and the time after that, and the time after that, and the time after that! Let's face facts. They're in so much trouble. Like, I saw this, and this really got my attention because maybe there is a problem with the way the Leafs are deploying their main guys. Specifically, Austin Matthews, who not everyone has been happy with this year because you expect 60-goal guy to be 60-goal guy. Williston Rylander says, this season's stats aren't available yet, but this is interesting. Austin Matthews' percentage of time on ice facing elite competition. Last season, it was 48%. The season before that, it was 40%, and he scored 69 goals. The season before that, it was 31%, and the season before that, it was 30%, and he scored 60 goals. Quite different usage between Keefe versus Berube, reflecting Matthews' totals. For reference, last season, McDavid was at 34%, and McKinnon was at 35%. Even Barkov was only at 42%, and that's a Selke guy. Berube is treating Matthews like he's prime Ryan O'Reilly, when it's clear he needs to be treated like an actual superstar in this league. And here I am going, you have a relatively competent defense-first NHL fourth-line center in David Kampf, who is no longer with the team. He was with the Marlies and left. And it is November 2025, and you are still paying Max Domi nearly $4 million to play center at the NHL when he cannot play center at the NHL. Oh my God, stop! What are we doing? And now, someone else has to take over those minutes because Matthews is hurt and we don't know for how long. So you thought this team was in trouble before? Oh, buddy, you had no idea. I need to get a good one of these out of my system. Brad Treliving has to do something now! They have too many forwards, and they're not good enough. They are in crisis defensively. He might end up having to gas the coach, within the next couple weeks, and I'm dead serious. And if he doesn't, who knows what after that? Some people thought Sheldon Keefe should go. And Sheldon Keefe didn't go because Brad Treliving had just been hired. And I just got here. What happened? Another season passed. The Leafs lost. They let go of Sheldon. They delayed the inevitable by a year for no good reason. And after that, some people were like, you know what? Brendan Shanahan should probably go. But you know who just got hired? Keith Pelly, who's now the CEO of MLSE. And Keith Pelly's certainly not about to show up to his job and on the first day fire Brendan Shanahan. I just got it! And then what happened? He waited a year, the Leafs lost again, and then he gassed Shanahan. Now there's no excuse! No one just got here! Make a choice, man! Make a decision! Sorry there's pressure on you to win, which is your actual job and stuff! This isn't even aimed at like Berube or Brad or anyone in particular, even Keith Pelly. It's just aimed at large at anyone who wears this friggin' logo on their lapel. This fan base needs something to make them believe that like there's someone who's got their hands on the wheel. Because I'm sitting there from puck drop till final horn watching every single Leaf game like Robert Baratheon after the bore. Just give me something for the pain and let me die. It's not that they're losing, it's that they suck. And I promise you, there's a difference. It's better to lose than to suck. In November anyway, in the playoffs, if you suck but you win, you don't feel bad about it. You're like, well, whatever. No, you need these points, and you're only gonna get these points if you no longer suck. Like we've been like, oh, how about this? How about that? How about that? They suck. Ugh. Like I've had enough. I need something new. This is awful. Another starting goalie and Austin Matthews might be out. This might get a whole lot worse. Or they like go on a heater now because they're the Leafs and that's what they do. What do you think they should do? Leave a comment in the comment box down below. That is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell your friends. Donate to my Movember page. Link in the description down below. I'm not in the habit of looking this stupid by accident. This is on purpose. It's for a good cause. I look like this. I have to look at this in the mirror every day and then watch the Leafs. Please donate.